Welcome, food fans, picky eaters, the flavor curious, and everyone in between. Nothing makes good food better than good conversation. And your table is ready. Come right this way to the Food for Thoughtcast with your host, Melissa Reagan. But you can call her Chef. All right, let's get this episode started.
Hey there, food fans. Welcome back to the Food for Thoughtcast with me, your host, Melissa Reagan. Today, I am joined by Wayne Swanson Jr. from Swanson Family Farms. How are you, Wayne?
I'm fine, Melissa. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. What's the weather like where you are?
Blazing saddles is burning up today.
All right, and remind me, it's in Georgia. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
So basically, middle to North Georgia is where I am.
Okay. Beautiful. Well, I am currently in Raleigh, North Carolina, and it is hot. And then I will soon to relocate to Texas, which is where I'm from, which is hotter.
And I'm not shipping to Texas until the fall.
Yeah, wise, because it's gross there.
Too hot.
It's too hot. Wayne, what have you been up to today? You started to tell me before we were recording.
Yeah, today we picked up, take a step back. I found out I'm new to shipping in the country. And I found out that you're not supposed to ship perishables on 4th of July.
Oh, my goodness.
Because nobody's working Friday and Monday. So they don't want your stuff to sit in a warehouse.
That makes sense.
So, yeah, it makes sense. I was like, okay, I learned something new. But today we're delivering and meeting up, I think, a couple of quarter cows, a half a cow, and about 10 sheep orders. That's what we're doing today.
You'd love to hear it. Do you process the meat there, or are? Okay.
No. So I sold my farm years ago, a couple of years now. I kind of saw something coming in the market. This was not ancestral or legacy farm. I bought it in 2008 and then became a farmer. So I didn't buy it.
Got it.
As farmland. And I saw an opportunity for me to get invested in some grocery chains and invest in the business of consulting, which is what I thought I was going to be doing. and then the supply chain conversation started happening as people started calling for product. You know how things go. You retire something or you stop something and everybody wants it when you stop it.
Of course.
So yeah, that's what we've been doing.
It's the human condition. You only want what you can't have.
You only want what you can't have. And we were talking about that, the law of proximity. Like when I had a farm, none of my neighbors wanted to buy anything. As soon as I moved, they all called. And we're like, yeah, we want to buy stuff.
This is going to sound crazy, but like, I don't think even in my position in the food industry that I've ever met a farmer face to face.
Really?
I don't think I have. I think I will always meet the people that are doing the selling at the farmer's market, but it's not necessarily who grew it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was thinking about it today. I was like, is this a first? I think this is a first for me.
Well, I am one.
Like, as crazy as it might sound. Well, Wayne, I start every episode by asking my guests and then also answering what was the most amazing thing you ate this week. So let me hear it.
Okay. So yes, I am a farmer. Yes, I have all this great food. But I have this love with Quick Trip breakfast tacos.
Oh, man. The Quick Trip breakfast pizza goes really hard, too.
I was making a run south, and I stopped to get gas, and I went in, and I was like, I smelled it, and I was like, oh yeah.
There's no.
I know I'm gonna cook some nice stuff this week, but there's nothing like that hot bacon, egg, and cheese taco. Man, I love that. Yeah, for me that was a highlight because I didn't do it often.
Yeah, you can't beat it, especially when it's a treat.
Yeah, it was delicious. It's better than me getting a bag of Twizzlers. So
yeah, I totally get it. So people ask me all the time. They're like, "Oh, what does a chef cook at home?" I'm like, cereal. I don't want. I don't want to cook. I don't want to cook anything. The most amazing thing. Go ahead.
I had to force myself because I'm farming at the time, and I have to send you a picture. I got really fat, but I was delivering a bunch and eating on the road. But I'm not eating. I'm eating chips and
road stuff. Yeah, of course.
Right, road stuff. And then I was like, well, wait a minute, why why don't I just eat what I grow? And I'm so captivated with selling product that I didn't keep anything for my house. And so, and I started, and everybody was like, well, about time. And so that was important to do. And that has changed my diet. So
you got to take care of number one sometimes.
Sometimes you do. And sometimes when you're in service related fields, you forget to take care of yourself because you're geared to, it's why you're in service. Yeah. You're geared to take care of others.
You're just going to serve somebody else. And then at the end of the day, you're like, why do I feel bad? Oh, I didn't eat today. I didn't feed myself. 9 times out of 10, mine's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or cereal. But this week I did treat myself to a pint of Ben & Jerry's. So it's at Americone Dream.
Okay, I'm a Cherry Garcia guy.
Cherry Garcia is really, I haven't met, I have to be really honest, I haven't met a flavor of Ben & Jerry's that I didn't like. I will crush all of them.
Yeah, so I looked at that pistachio one time and I was like, I'm
a pistachio fanatic. Oh. So I love pistachio. But pistachio is one of those things, I think you can also get away with it like in a cheaper one. Like Haagen-Dazs makes a good pistachio.
Okay. Like, I'll try it on your recommendation.
It's really good. If you like pistachios, you'll like it.
I like pistachios, yes.
I adore pistachios. So I like them are real savory though. Like they have the ones in the shell that you can buy from the store, like the salt and pepper kind are ridiculous. So
I have to check that out. I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, I'll sit down with a bag like in front of the TV, and then before I know it, I'm like, oh, I've eaten 3 days worth of nuts in one sitting.
Right. Like 30,000 steps in tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, please tell me how your journey to being a farmer started with I hear it was a cabbage experiment.
Yes. How about that?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So my son, full transparency, I grew up in the city, but my parents are from a small country town in New Jersey, Glassboro, New Jersey. So my grandparents raised 18 kids on a farm. So I wasn't one of those kids of the 80s and the early 90s who went to summer camp.
You needed to buy a team. 18 kids.
18. My grandfather had 21. He was married before he married my grandmother.
I have a twin brother, and sometimes I'm like, that's enough.
So you started when you're that you have all your friends are your cousins are your best friends. So
exactly.
I just watched my grandparents and I lived there. They cooked on a wood stove. I thought everybody had a root cellar at their grandmother's house. I didn't know that was unique. I thought everybody's grandparents were farmers because that community was all Southern that moved to New Jersey, and they all came from rural communities. So one day, years later, I'm a college graduate. I'm in corporate America. And I can't remember if it was Arbor Day or Sunday. My son comes home with a cabbage plant, and it was like somebody dumped a bucket of water on me. And I just was like, I know what to do. And I had, in corporate, towards the end of the year, you get these mandatory, you got to take so many days off because you're not taking vacation days.
Yeah.
So I happened to have 3 days off. And I then decided to go to Home Depot, spend about $300. And got all the other stuff that I thought should go, what I thought my grandparents would have planted with cabbage, ripped out my ornamental bushes, planted blueberry bushes, and created a edible landscape without knowing that's what it was. It just was familiar to me.
Wow.
And then I waited for the HOA to come get me. They didn't. And and a neighbor came and said, hey, man, I saw your garden. You want to do I got a flat spot in my backyard. You want to do a garden with me? And we did. And it was phenomenal. And it was in a common area. So all the neighbors could come in and see it. And from there, we got our contraband chickens the next year.
Oh,
and man. We had about 8 chickens behind my dog kennel. I had a dog kennel, Preferred dog kennel. That I would keep. And so we raised 8 to a dozen chickens. I can't remember now, but we had a chicken and an egg cabal where it was all secret. Somebody would make cakes. Somebody would pay for a little bit of feed. And then my son let him out one day and he ratted us out.
So it's like black market chicken raising operation.
It was like major hush hush. Like we got
That's
into a whole crew.
hysterical.
Like, hey man, if you're not part of the chicken crew, everybody else is beneath us. We have chickens and we are egg snobs now. We don't want to buy store eggs.
They just taste different and better.
Way better.
Way better.
The volume of them, everything.
I had a Cisco delivery driver some years ago. I mean, this is probably 2017, and they had ducks, and he used to bring me a dozen duck eggs every. Man, you want to talk about just like rich, velvety, but the yolks are dark, like just really incredible. So good.
My neighbor who would make the cakes, she would get every time we could get some duck eggs, she would make a pound cake.
So good.
And she was like, yeah, the duck eggs just great for cakes.
The flavor's just deeper, and it's almost like I don't know, it's just like more fat, or I don't know, it's hard to explain, but like just really incredible. Like I grew up and very much still am somewhat disconnected from my food supply. I have a better idea than maybe most lay people because I'm in the food industry, but you know, I often like to joke, if everything goes to hell in a handbasket, like I don't know where to hunt tacos down. Like I don't, you know, I've tried to grow things. I really very much like want to urban homestead. Don't even know where to start. But I have such a respect for what you do and how you're able to like kind of bridge that gap between the consumer and like where their food comes from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, some things I learned the hard way.
Sure.
And then when you grow up on a farm, and this is the thing, I had to have a tough conversation with my dad. Once the business took off, he was coming in one day, you know, he's my dad, so he's telling me some things. And I was like, yeah, it's not really how it goes. And he was like, well, who grew up on the farm? And I said, no, Dad, you didn't grow up. You didn't do work. You did chores. I have to run the farm as a business.
This is an enterprise.
Yeah, it's a little different now. I don't just get to feed the chickens and then go to basketball practice. So with that, I tell everybody, just start and just do some things like, you know, it costs you a couple dollars for some seeds. Throw some seeds in the area you think you want to grow some. Just throw them there.
Yeah.
Yeah, cover them up with something.
Happens.
Yeah, put a piece of cardboard over it, rain it in. Watch what happens. Mother Nature is very resilient and very forgiving. It's when we try to tell her what to do that she kind of,
because we've been dumping all over the earth forever and ever, but like still, it's not to be all Jurassic Park, but life finds a way, right? Like things grow and you know, we continue to eat you know, miraculously, right? So
all right, Melissa, the subscriber of the Chaos Theory.
Yeah. There's a couple of influencers I follow on social media that I'm really enamored with, and they talk about chaos farming. This guy that takes a bag of chickpeas and just throws it out. You know, he kind of explains the science of putting the nutrition back in the soil year after year, right? So you're just like on a farm where I'm sure that you're rotating, you know, where you are planting what, but he talks about things that add the nitrogen back, or you know, seeding over, like using rye, overwintering, and I might be using the wrong words here, but you know what I'm
cover cropping,
cover crop. That's it.
And
and
nitrogen fixers.
Yeah, nitrogen fixers, and
so we don't want bare soil. So when we were kids, you remember you would go by a rural community at a certain time of year, and all the fields would be plowed up. It looked pretty. But that's actually very dangerous because we're losing the water air cycle. So you need those green plants to shoot air vapor or water vapor to the clouds, to fill the clouds so they can rain back down. If it's all dry, it becomes a mini desert and you have a heat bubble. So I love all the science of how it fits together. I'm an avid consumer of soy. And I learned, I broke my heart, but a few years ago, I learned that soy is a monocrop. Like it destroys soil, but it's so good for you. Right. It doesn't have to be. It's a farming practice, right?
Sure.
So in between those rows, if you were comfortable with cover cropping, you understood what they would give back. Just from a business standpoint, after you're done with the soy, if you had some type of forage under there, you could run maybe a herd of finished sheep or goats or a couple of cows through there and just fatten them up on them gleaning, and that gives you another product. But that, a lot of people do that now, but that wasn't the case even 10 years ago.
It's like a continuation of the Three Sisters still, right? Where you're kind of like making sure that things that grow together well, providing the trellis for the beans and whatnot.
Yeah, pay attention to Mother Nature. Yeah. She gives you all that. So when we farm,
it's so cool.
I take a look at what the buffalo did.
Sure.
And they ate something, they moved on, they pooped a bunch, they tore up the soil, and then the chickens came out, the prairie chickens came out, or the turkeys came out and scratched through it, spread the fertilizer, spread the seeds, and it grew back better.
Yeah.
Rest is also an important. I don't hear enough in farming. We don't talk about rest. Like, you need to rest your land if you want to get good, nutrient-dense food out of it. And just think of the cycles of how we're all these carbon-based.
Just like people know.
Same thing about right? Just like people.
You got to take a day off.
You rest.
Yeah.
Lay down a little bit.
I think when I tried to, I really had this vision several years back that I was going to be an urban homesteader. And I thought I was going to grow some corn in Dallas, Texas. I think it's zone 5. They got about this tall and then went, but it was fun to try. I didn't dig deep enough.
Yeah, talk to your Mexican neighbors down there. There's a corn that grows there.
100%, and it's less water, and I think it's more hardy. But yeah, I kind of thought that I was going to grow corn in like cloth pots. That ain't it. I grew potatoes though. That worked really well. They'll keep giving. Potatoes in a laundry basket's pretty easy.
Dump it over
in an urban backyard. Yep.
I mean, the key is to grow something, especially where you've got a refined palate as a chef. The taste difference of what you get fresh. Mm-hmm. Now, the tomato or the potato that you may have started in Iowa, if you could have ate it within 2 days of it growing, maybe it would have tasted the way yours tasted. Yeah. That's not the system we live in. Mm-hmm. And that's why, like, what we do is important, because we're fresh to order. We don't kill anything and put it on a shelf. Hope you're coming to buy it. You got to order it first.
Yeah.
And then you'll be on a wait list for us to get our processing dates. And then as soon as it's ready, I'm getting it to you. I picked up today. 10 people are getting their lambs today.
It's amazing.
There were lambs last week.
That's amazing. And it's broken down into like subprimals, or they ask for sides, or like, what is it?
We have a very unique cut sheet. So we are looking at meals. So when I cut a lamb, we'll start, just so your audience can hear, from the head.
Of course.
So I have customers who, for cultural reasons, want the head. They have the head. The neck, we try to cut into stew meat with the bone in. Culturally, a lot of African Americans and Caribbeans like that curry stew lamb. Then we get into the shoulders. We like to take the shoulder roast and turn those into ground. So we add that with the trim. I never want to just give my customers ground that's all trimming. That's offensive to me personally. And
it doesn't come out well. Like, that's how you end up. It's like gristle and bits.
Yeah, that's why you end up with like good smash burgers and stuff like that.
It's good.
Put a bunch of fat in it to make it cover.
Yeah.
We give you meat. So then we keep our bones. We want our bones. We want our fat. And we come into the shoulders. We take those, put those in the grind. The ribs we'll give you the rib cage. And if you're getting a whole, one side will give you a rack, one side will give you the chops.
Right.
Then of course we'll do our loin chops individual, so you can get a bunch of meals, and everything is individually wrapped. So if you only want, it's just you, and you only want 2 lamb chops, you take out 2 lamb chops.
Is that all cryovac?
Yes.
Yeah. I love that.
And flash frozen. And we go all the way down to the tail. Like, you're going to get your offal. We're going to give you the liver. This go around, somebody wanted all the heads, so I didn't get any tongues. But you got the heads. You've got the tail, the liver, the kidneys, the suet from the lamb. We give you everything.
It's incredible, man. I love to hear it. I think people are scared of their food.
They are.
And I think, for somebody like me, I grew up in the suburbs. I've been on a farm. I've taken the corn and put it through the thing that, that grinds it, or like you're making feed with it. Like, I've had some some farm experience is what I would call them. But like when I was a kid, I thought green beans came out of a can.
Yeah. Most
Not
people
ashamed to say, you know.
Yeah.
I think the closest I ever got to farming as a kid was helping my grandma whole peas like on the porch.
Wasn't that a great experience? Snapping
like,
peas with your
popping them
grandma?
out of it. Right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, but if I had to fend for myself, I don't know that I'd make it very long.
Well, you don't know why you say that?
Why
Because
is
you've
that?
never really been hungry.
Right.
Get hungry
Yeah.
enough. The squirrels will start looking like filet
Oh
mignon.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I could make a squirrel taste good. I'm confident. I'd have to
Zatarans.
first.
Uh,
Yeah.
me and my son, ask me how I know.
So walk me through the squirrel story then. There has to be a
All right.
story. Was
So,
it a camping
yes.
trip?
No. So I had pecan trees
Okay.
on either ends of our.
I see where
Farmhouse.
this. You had intruders. Is what you had.
So
Uh-huh.
I'm very proud. You know, they produce like a bumper crop every other year.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a bumper crop, and every morning they're taunting me. They're going from tree to tree, but they're like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. As soon as the sun starts to, you can hear them running across the roof. So one morning we come outside, and one of them he's running on the power line, and he drops just a beautiful pecan right in front of him. I guess we scared him. And then he sat up there and like chucked at us, like barked at us, like
They do that.
don't you touch my pecan. So I picked it up, and I didn't know that squirrels can remember you. So I crush it, open it up. Me and my son, you share it. And so that every day after that, he made it his job to get as many pecans as possible. He would put them in the gutter.
Oh, he had a vendetta.
So I said, okay, buddy, you're going to go. But he was good and fat. So then next time we had the bumper crop, he just, he would fuss at you. Every time I came out, he'd fuss at me and chuck and twitch his tail. And so we had a little BB gun. So I told my son, I said, man, if I get him with one shot, I said, we're going to cook him. I said, there's some fish fry in there. We ought to just batter him in that. And then
Hey,
put him
that
in the grill.
Zatarain's fish fry is not playing
Hey,
around.
man.
It's
Nothing.
good.
so I got him.
Man.
And my kid is like 12
With a
years
BB
old.
with a
He's
BB
like,
gun, you got him?
yeah.
Mm.
.177, just below
Okay.
22. Yeah, we got good at them. We can take them out. So I got pictures of it and everything on Facebook. So
That's
we
incredible.
we seasoned him up. He was on the grill in less than 20, 30 minutes. Yeah, we put him in a little bit of milk, seasoned him up real good,
Yeah.
grilled him, and then me and my son sat there, ate the squirrel.
Kicking around BBs and tiny bones.
Yeah,
It's like
tiny bones.
it's like a tiny little rabbit.
is,
Basically.
So I have rabbits. So my grandfather used to hunt rabbits when I was a kid. And the reason I stopped eating rabbit is I used to pick the BBs out of them and they put them on the table. You had to have country grandparents. And my grandparents cooked on a wood stove. So we all chopped wood for them to cook. So we'd follow my grandfather around as him and his buddies shot the rabbits. And I remember my grandmother would skin them. She skinned one, got it back to the back half, and the phone rings. So she goes, answers the phone. And as soon as she says hello, that rabbit sat up. It just fell back down. And I was like, I think I'm done eating rabbit for a little while.
That would have done it for me. That would have done it for me.
But it's wonderful. It's delicious. I love it.
Yeah, it's like the entire animal's dark meat. It's mind blowing.
Yeah. And tender.
I remember eating it for the first time in culinary school, but like they would just bring in the saddle, like just and so kind of a really sterile, it's no love lost there, right? You're like, this looks like a pork chop, like no big deal. But then when you go to buy them somewhere else, sometimes Whole Food will have a half a rabbit, and you're like, oh, this used to be an animal. Like this is real. You know what I mean? Like
when you buy the carcass of a rabbit, or if you process your own rabbits, and you're having people come over to eat, you have to pre-warn them that you're not eating cats.
Yeah.
Because it looks like a cat.
It's insane.
As you
It's
put it on,
crazy.
you're like, no. Everybody's like, you eating cat? And you're like, no, this is a rabbit. This is rabbit. My buddy harvests them, or we got them there. So yeah. But so the point I was going to bring up is you talking about the saddle. And what's important for food and for food people like us is that we get people back to experiencing the carcass.
Yeah.
There's so many good things to eat on all of the animal, and we've gotten hyper fixated on a ribeye.
Well, just making a stock.
Yeah, or
right?
making a
Like,
stock.
Just making a stock.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
like, I love a hanger steak. Well,
Yeah.
so they used to call it the butcher's cut. The butcher would hide it on the counter and keep it for himself. And then it got so popular.
I don't think that they stopped. They
right.
using
But
stuff.
then it got so popular that it got expensive. Like everything else, right? Like cities gentrified and decided that oxtail wasn't good anymore. And now it's
Talk
full
about it.
circle. Now you're going to pay 2-3 times what you would then now for
Let's talk
oxtail.
about oxtail.
You know?
You
Yeah,
ready to
let's-
have this conversation, Miss
Yeah.
Melissa?
Let's go. What you got?
Oxtail is the end of the spine, correct?
Sure. Yeah.
And it's the smallest portion of the spine.
Yep.
But if you have an animal that's under a cow that's under 30 months, that spine is probably 8 feet long, 9 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
And in the African American communities, before 4 or 5 years ago, we all ate neck bones. Oxtails were just thrown in the pot. Buy the neck bone, y'all. Get the neck bones cut. It's the same bone with more muscle.
Mm.
And it doesn't have that crazy super ring of fat on it for all these fed out cows. And then my other piece of this, I'm a part-time conspiracy theorist.
Okay, then.
If we're running out of meat, how is every Jamaican joint, every soul food joint everywhere have all these oxtails?
For real.
Where is it coming from?
For real. Do you think it's people? It's not people.
Might be kangaroo tail. I don't know.
It's kangaroos.
I don't know what it is. I don't know. But everybody has it. But if I'm booked out and the processors are all booked out and running at full capacity and nobody has oxtail.
You're going to have to unravel that thread all the way to the end of the conspiracy. You have to find out like what's going on.
I don't know how many kangaroos are out there. So I apologize if I disparage kangaroos.
They're kind of mean though. So I'm like, maybe we should eat them.
I've seen that where they box.
They
and they
pick
try to drown
fights.
dogs.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anything that hurts a dog. Sorry. Your days are numbered.
For your money, if you're going to, for your money, buy the neck bones. It's going to be way more meat. You got to stew it because the neck's always moving and
yeah, it's tendons and all that. Yeah.
But stew it good, just like you would oxtail, and it's going to be great. And you can see the bones. You just cut them. Your butcher will cut it for you. He'll cut it down in the cubes for you.
Well, cities have lost butchers. You know what I mean?
Yes. So the butchers are coming back, but they're more. I'm a butcher, but I only want to do Gouda stuffed.
Yeah.
Peppers with sausage and
like,
nah, man, can we just get a pork chop or can we just get some ground?
Yeah. I've had this conversation with my mother a few times. There used to be a cut called a 7 roast. It looks like the bone looks like the number 7.
Oh,
it's out of the chuck. I think it's right in between like the bavette and kind of that top sirloin type deal.
Yeah.
They don't make that roast anymore. You can find a chuck roast everywhere, but when I was a kid, it was a 7 roast or like a 7 blade roast or some such. Just chuck
I think I've heard 7 blade roast,
shoulder, right? And so, but the bone looked like a 7, and it was the best. It made the best pot roast ever. But we don't. That's what I would call like a legacy cut. You don't see those. Nobody's interested, like because like the consumers aren't asking. The demand's not there. You know what I mean?
Well, we're creating it.
Right.
So how we sell product is we refuse to sell a steak. So if you're getting something from us, a pot roast, a chuck roast, or a shoulder roast is included because we want to take the rump and use the rump for grind and for stew meat.
Yeah. And
if we can get some cube out of it, but each cow is different. But I want you to get a roast. And we also cut the roast 2 pounds to 4 to 3.5 pounds so they fit in a crock pot.
Yeah.
So when we're selling our product, we don't want you to have to do any further fabrication. So everything's individually wrapped and everything is meal size. So like with our 1/8 of a cow, we think that there's 40 meals there. But you ground, your stew meat, your roast, and then your 9 grilling steaks. We think they're 40 meals. So if it's a family of 2, we're going to keep you out of steakhouse. And even one trip to the steakhouse is a third of what you would have paid for that order. So
Wow.
we've, over the years, I've been keeping carcass data since '08. And what I did was I just watched what everybody, did 2 things. I'd watch when I bring the boxes to people, and I'd watch the fear on their faces, like, oh my God, what have I done?
Yeah.
Where am
You
I
bought
gonna
half a
put it?
cow. That's what you did.
Right. And then I realized, okay, so we need to change this, because now, old school, you were getting 5-pound roast. Most people don't know what to do with a 5-pound roast, and it's
Yep.
bulky.
Yep.
So when I started cutting those down into 1 and 2 pounds, the box number got smaller because it wasn't 1 box per roast. We could put 3 or 4 roasts in 1 box,
Right.
and it was a lot more manageable, and it was a lot more accepting to the eye, because everybody thinks that when they buy a half a cow, it's going to be a brontosaurus, and it's not.
Yeah.
What you see online is a lot of it is marketing. They're taking like a 2,000-pound animal,
Right.
and they're cutting that up on Instagram or on
Yeah.
their YouTube channel because it presents well on the table.
Well, of course. And it looks really good on camera.
Yes.
And that it's, so few of the steakhouses out there are actually doing like the bone-in ribeye. They're not doing the cowboy ribeye. They're not doing the bone-in
Standard
sirloin.
cowboy ribeyes, but we do bone in on everything. Everything that can have
Yeah.
a bone in it, except for New York strip. I won't do the bone in New York.
Yeah.
strip, T-bone. But everything that has a bone, we wanted to have a bone.
Yeah.
It's flavor.
It should.
You're still, yeah.
It should have 100%. So tell me what, and if it's too exhaustive of a list, you can just give me the highlights, but what is it that you grow and produce? Like, is there one direction that you started, or,
Yeah. So I started with cattle called Piney Woods.
Okay.
They are, and it was if you want a homestead and you're getting started, get a heritage breed cow. It's very forgiving, and they're tame.
Yeah.
All you got to do is shake a bucket, teach them what a bucket is, and they'll be your best friend. They'll go where you want them to go.
That domestication's a little bit built in other words.
Built in.
Yeah.
It's an amazing animal, but they're tough as nails. So you can't mess up. If they get cut, chances are they're not going to get tetanus, and they're just tough animals, easier to deal with, and they taste great. So they taste great because they eat like goats. They don't eat like cows. They'll graze, but they're looking for the herbs.
They're selective.
Looking for the weeds. They're going to eat what's out there. They're not picky.
Yep.
So a lot of times out in Texas, you'll see a cousin, the Longhorn, which is the Western version of the Piney Wood.
Right.
You'll see them with some of the more improved cows, and those Longhorns are teaching the improved cows what to eat.
That's interesting.
To try to keep them with them. So these cows are all based off of Andalusian or Spanish stock that were dropped off when the explorers came. And when they crossed the Mississippi and got into plains, their horns got longer. And when they stayed in that pine woods belt going across the southeast up into Virginia, they needed shorter horns and shorter bodies, and they became the Piney Woods. And in Florida, they became speckled because of the sunlight, and they became Florida crackers. But all from the cows that were dropped off. Yeah.
They were like half melanated, in other words.
Really, because they for the sun.
That's insanely interesting.
And
I really had no idea.
In the forest, the palmetto forest.
Wow.
So
That's
we
insane.
started out with Piney Woods, and we didn't intend to be where we are now. That wasn't our intent. The intent, I just needed a bigger yard, and I found 30 acres and was like, this is going to be great. My dog's going to run forever. And my dad was like, hey, I walked this place after I bought it. And he was like, man, you got good fencing. We ought to get some cows. And he was like, that way you don't have to cut all this grass. I said, okay. So we literally, I had been researching some. So we grabbed some Piney Woods. It wasn't far. put them out there, and I'd walk behind them every day after work for weeks, just watching what they eat. And I would grab what they would eat and I'd take it to extension and be like, hey, what's this? And they were like, yeah, you don't want that in your field. I was like, well, why not? The cows love it. No, that's not right. And I realized there was a disconnect in farming versus what the animals wanted. And so when I started taking carcasses in, and this is 2012, 2013, something like that, the processors would always try to buy my carcass. But hey, we want to keep this. And so one day the guy just asked me, he said, man, what are you doing? And I was like, nothing. I didn't know I was cross fencing. I put a fence across the pond just because I didn't want to have to run all the way to the back 30 acres to get the cows every day or yell for them. So I figured I'd be able to control it a little bit better, not knowing I was doing rotational grazing by accident. So yeah, I fell into it. And then I started reading. I was like, holy crap, I'm doing that.
So the disconnect is, in other words, was between what people were, what you would grow for people to eat and what the cows actually like. Do I have that right?
The disconnect was institutional knowledge says that you should have one type of grass.
Got it.
And then because mine weren't doing that and they thought I was a little weird, I ended up having a better carcass for what at the time was just starting to be a craze.
So really, it's kind of like us. You've got to eat so many different plants for your biome. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
And they're healthier. You can smell the difference once you get into it on a cow that's been allowed to graze freely and a cow that's been just eating one thing.
Sure.
Yeah. They have a different aroma.
If I ate one thing for 30 days.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're sweeter. You can smell it. Especially, and then, you can smell like onion grass. Like you have to be careful with when onion grass is early spring and in season because the cows love it. And some people will open a bag. They're sensitive to onion. They'll open a bag of ground and be like, oh, I smell onions because they've eaten that many, and that it comes out in the meat because we're finishing on pasture. We don't feed them anything. I think that defeats the purpose of a business, but I don't want to put any inputs in.
Yeah, that's insane. I just really had no idea there were so many layers to it.
But also you have to just consider this. You ever watch the cows on TV and they're running as soon as the farmer comes out there, or they're kind of wild? They don't get fat fast. Cows are prey species.
Yes.
So if I'm a prey species and I'm not a buffalo, I want to be as lean as possible in case I got to run.
Right.
But when you get these cows that don't have any threats and they don't need to run, they just put on weight faster. And it's hard for me to explain to other ranchers who just want to dominate. Like, I need to get on a horse. And I had some cows with a person. And she got on a horse and was running them down. And my cows just laid down.
They were like, no, thank you.
Like, you don't have to do that. They're like, just call them.
They're like big puppies. Yeah.
Yeah, just call them. They'll come up. Shake a bucket. They'll come up. You don't have to. They don't have to be wild. And we'll herd them with dogs, with a dog. But once they learn the routine, they're just like, hey, boss, keep him over there. We're coming. Just, let him walk beside us and bark. But other than that, we got it. We know what you want. You want us up here in this brown thing. Let's go.
All right. So you have this heritage breed of cattle, the Piney Woods.
Yes.
And then what else? What food crops?
None. I started out with, I was doing too much. I did all the things. Bees.
Oh, man.
We had catfish in the pond. We had a market garden. It was just too much. And I'm good at animals. So I slowly realized that people were calling me back for beef. I had just given away. I was so excited about it. I never forget the phone call would always be, if what you gave me is beef, what am I getting at the store?
No, man. What a revelation.
And that's what I did. So that kind of led to, one day we sat down, did a spreadsheet and was like, oh, how about that? This is profitable.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So
then that, as I
cattle
said, the rest is
ranch,
history.
as it were.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And then
And I was
also
doing,
lambs and
sorry,
goats or something like that, or
I had goats.
yeah,
So I used to be kind of fancy before I was a farmer.
you were bougie.
So, yeah, I was bougie. Yeah.
Okay, then
Yeah. So
the first
I
step,
had
the
this,
first step's admitting you have a problem.
yeah, first steps, right? So I had this Harley Davidson F-150, right? This black
Okay, then.
chrome wheels. I love that thing, man.
Mm.
It was beautiful. But it was like a weekend rider. And I went on vacation one time, my family, and them goats, they missed me. So they lived on that Harley Davidson for 4 days, and they peed the clear off of that thing. Yeah. So this is a meat eater show?
Like a sure, yeah.
Okay, we ate them Sundays.
It sounds like a giant cat that got mad at you.
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, oh, and then they ate my rose bush. So I had bought these. They had, they have roses named after famous people.
sure.
So Coretta Scott King has roses.
Okay.
And I bought some Coretta Scott King roses and redid a flower bed. And them jokers ate them roses. I mean, they trimmed them all the way down, but they ate them roses.
Hate crime.
Hate crime. It's like, what? So,
That's
but
ridiculous.
delicious. And what's funny is you say that, hate crime. We ate them for Juneteenth. I had a Juneteenth celebration.
That's a full circle moment. Oh man.
Yeah, we ground them up. We just did burgers. And everybody was like, what kind of burger was this? I was like, goat burgers.
Did you have to supplement any other fat in there, like bacon or anything like that? Okay.
When you give them what they need, they'll produce fat.
Okay. I always think of, I mean, the only way I find goat on my end of the supply chain is super lean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's coming from the center of Australia.
Yeah.
So it's dry.
It's
or
arid. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And you're doing lambs now, or you were before and you're not, or you are?
Well, so we're at a place where I get to say I have a guy.
You have a guy. Oh, how fancy. You are bougie.
I'm bougie still.
You have a guy.
Yeah, bougie farmer.
All right then.
So I do. I've gotten to a place where I had to move. I couldn't live on the farm because my natural inclinations is to be outside and looking at the June bugs and watching dung beetles and watching the birds. And, the customers weren't getting phone calls back. And so I was like, all right.
The business part.
Business part.
Yeah.
So now we handle the business part. And I outpaced what I could grow in those 30 acres anyway. And I was coming out of, I tanked the business. And so after.
I mean, you have to at least once. I feel like everybody has that success failure story, right? Yep.
And I got it back. And as I was getting it, as we were coasting again, COVID hit. And COVID took us, I hate saying that, but in terms of the business, I don't know if they'll ever be as good as it was when COVID hit, because everybody was landlocked. You couldn't go to the grocery store.
Well,
and they found us.
Right. Like just a cultural moment in time for all the bad, right? There were some very specific, special circumstances that'll never happen again.
Yes.
Like they just never happen again. And you're right. And like, but it's crazy because we were like all disconnected, but more connected than ever before. People started making sourdough. They started raising bees. They planted gardens because people worked less. And so then you go like, oh, are we just working too much all the time? Right.
Yes.
Like, right. Like, is that really what it took for everybody to shut down and slow down? And, is there not some happy medium in between the two?
I think we found it. I think we're at a place where there are so many more people engaging in outdoor activities, agriculture, self-care, and those people find us. So we're not for everybody.
Yeah.
And we're for a pretty unique subset of folks who want what we offer.
Yeah.
We try our best to give it to them. And we're happy. We're not going to take over the world. We're not interested in that. That's not sustainable. And I don't want.
There's enough room for everybody, right?
I
mean, you don't have to take over the world. You just got to do your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You buy from who and what resonates with you.
Yeah.
And like, you know, when I first started, I would be, if I saw some other farmer on my street, I'd be like, hey, what are you doing over here? But now I'm just like, hey, that wasn't my customer.
We do.
They might have a they might have a story that you resonate with, or you guys could be from the same hometown or went to the same high school. That makes sense that you're going to buy from somebody that went to your high school,
Of course.
and not some guy from New Jersey who's now living in Georgia.
Mm.
So yes.
Living here in North Carolina, I have been very, very spoiled by the amount of apples I can find. You know, huge apple production here, like famous. They've got a festival every year and everything. I think I can buy like 30 types of apples at the NC State Farmers Market. I don't even know what they all are. It's a bulk per pound. So I'll just get like 30 different apples and eat them over the course of a month. When I go back to Dallas, there'll be like 4. Sad. It's okay. I'm like,
but
it's sad.
Your beef options when you go to Dallas are tremendous.
The beef options, right? I had this funny moment when I moved here a couple of years ago. I moved for my job, and I grew up with ranch style beans, you know, in the can, and you can't find them here. And I started looking around, and I was like, well, it's because there's no ranches here. Like, it's just like laughing. Like, I'm from Texas, where there's the Black Spade and there's all the ranches, right? Like, that is ranch land. It makes sense that there's no ranch style beans here.
Yeah, I guess so. That makes sense.
I guess so. So I had to make it myself.
Yeah.
Big deal. I put some jalapenos and some pinto beans and called it a day. But like, yeah, you know, what are you gonna do? So, what are you gonna do?
That's good stuff.
All right. So no crops. Been there, done that.
No crops. Been there, done that. We are focused now on. I think I got maybe half a dozen steer left of mine from some South Pole, and I sold all the piney woods, and I needed a little bit better frame for the carcasses as this end of the business grew. And you know, I think in the next couple of years I'll probably go back. I'll be mature enough in this space that I can go to live on a farm again with the animals. But right now we're chugging along, and we're going to open a further processing facility so that we can process our own carcasses and then get those to like, I'm invested in a grocery store called Nourish and Bloom Market. I invested in that, I don't know, over 5 years ago. With the idea that it would grow and then I would be the only provider. So that's when I sold the 30 acres, I sold it with this in mind. I'm going to take some of this money and I'm going to invest in a startup grocery store.
Is that local to Georgia?
Yes.
That chain? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a autonomous grocery store. So it runs off of a lot of AI tech, and it's cashless. You go in, it scans you, or you hit your card and then you walk out. But there are 4 of them now.
Wow.
And we think that there'll be a couple of hundred in a few years. And
yeah, if I just didn't have to talk to a person at the store, that sounds like my dream.
Yep.
I'm being facetious, but I think a lot of people are looking for that experience.
And it's quick. They're small. They're smaller footprints. You don't need to be super large.
Yeah.
So that was this, and I explained to people that I'm transitioning. I'm still Farmer Wayne. So I spent a decade and a half becoming an expert in this space through hard knocks. I learned it. My daddy didn't give me anything. I learned it all. And now I'm in the executive space where I'm managing the business. But the
operation
what I did previously allows me to have the insight to say, nah, I don't want your cows.
Of course.
I can grow my own and just wait. But the demand is such that you just can't grow enough. So you have to have partnerships.
Yeah. That is an incredible story. I mean, I think that insight is insight that you can only have by paying your dues, right? It's not like, I don't know if like Nepo babies exist in the farming sphere, you know what I mean? But like, right, like my daddy gave me this ranch and I don't know anything about beef except these taste, you know what I mean? Like, I think you could say that for any profession, right?
Well, you will know how I know it. There are people that are legacy in this space, right?
Sure.
And they love telling me what's not possible. well, you can't do that.
You're
That's not gonna work.
already doing the impossible.
And I was like, well, I'm doing it. Well, that's not going to work. And then you go pull their website up a week after you meet them. They just take your pictures. They take your picture and then they add exactly what you were doing to their site. And I was like, man, you could just give me a credit.
That's gross. That's gross behavior.
Yeah, but it's people who, and then here's the thing, that there are people who think that because they are from a place, that they are, imagine the chef world, if you're from France or New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
You think that all chefing comes from them, right? Nobody else is a chef. So I met people in South Georgia that were like, yeah, I'm from South Georgia. So that means that I'm a better farmer by default. And I was like, well, what do you do? Well, I'm not a farmer. So how are you better at something I practice every day?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm from here. That's why.
Yeah.
And I was like, and you just kind of like, okay, I'm not having this conversation.
It's wild. It happens in the chef world a ton, right? Like people have their frame of reference can be very small for just the experiences that they've had. Some of the best experiences I've had in this field that have made me into the leader that I am and the chef that I am were in places you wouldn't expect, like retirement communities, fast food chains, because I learned the business side. Right. Am I perfect? Nope. Do I make mistakes? Yep. Do I make money mistakes all the time? Yeah, still. Sometimes I take a chance on something, it doesn't work out. But, I understand how to pivot, how to recover, right? Just like any other job, right?
Once you learn how to pivot, you're okay. And I was telling somebody else that. I said, my experience in the restaurant business helped me understand how to sell to restaurants. Mm-hmm. And basically you had to ask who does the ordering?
Yeah.
Who do I need to talk to? All right.
Yeah.
Let me see what type of person this is. Are they overwhelmed? Can I get them something quick? Or are they basically like the commando version of a sous chef? The guy
Yeah. And what is it that they are hoping to accomplish? Do they just need do they need to center the plate item? Are they telling a story on their menu? Is it an experience for the guest that's coming in, like start to finish, where they want them to feel connected to every piece? Are they treating it like art? Is it entertainment? Is it just sustenance? Like there's so many variables, right? Like, what does the standard consumer need to know about the difference between grain finished or like grain fed and grass fed? Like break it down for the listener.
It's marketing and palate.
Okay.
Right. So, and I'm trying, this is just my version of facts. I don't want to put ink in the water.
Okay.
But intramuscular fat is diabetes. You had so much sugar in your system that your body had to put that fat somewhere. So that's marbling. Mm-hmm. So when you eat elk, bison, it doesn't have marbling. It has a fat cap. And then it has this really dark violet meat. What we want you to have is the fat cap and the dark meat. There's, in our opinion, more flavor there. There's definitely higher beta carotene and other protein,
right. It's the umami.
Yes.
Right. Yep.
Yes. So it becomes where you marketed that everything needs to be marbled, or are you willing to have something with some flavor? And I don't know if you remember, like in the 80s, we got to a place where everybody was like, everything tastes like chicken. That's because it was all eating the same feed.
Right.
That's what we were tasting. You're not tasting the meat. You're tasting what it ate. That's why some pork gives people a headache instantly. It's because they put nitrates in the food because they pack the food.
The same people that can't drink red wine or eat smoked salmon or
So that's where the difference is in a grass-fed product, a grass-fed, grass-finished product, is there are not those inputs at a measurable level. We're all going to bucket. If you're smart, you're going to bucket train so that you can call your animals back if they get out the fence, which they will. But we're not pumping salted food and into the animals, which is, or sugar foods.
Or Skittles.
A lot of people use Skittles and M&Ms.
Yep.
And straight molasses, just pour it to them.
Yep.
And again, but that when we talked about the diabetes, right? That makes sense, right? If you're eating a bunch of sugar, that's what's going to happen. You're going to end up having diabetes, and that's what you are what you eat, right? So that's just my take on it. I prefer. Once I started eating this, it reminded me of my grandparents. I was like, oh, this is what we ate with my grandparents. This is what we ate, and for years, and well until my teenage years, they were still killing a hog, and all our eggs came from down there.
Right.
That's my take on what the differences are. You have to have a preference, and you should exercise that preference. If you need a grain-finished animal, get a grain-finished animal. If you want a grass-fed, there are people that are doing grass-fed.
And what is Swanson? What is the correct designation for what Swanson Farms does?
We're grass-fed, grass-finished.
Got it.
We're going to pull them out the field on the day they need to go.
Got it.
Yep.
Got it. And where do you ship to?
Not to Texas right now, although I have one group I got to send on Monday to Texas. But we're shipping. Hot. It's hot, right? So I'm gonna pack that. It's gonna cost me more because I'm gonna pack it with a bunch of ice.
Sure.
We are smaller orders, our eighth and our quarter. We'll ship them anywhere. This will be 3-day ground, so I can get anywhere. But the boxes are great. I love to ship those up the East Coast where all the cities are. We have a good time with that. And we do a lot of meetups in Georgia because if I don't have brick and mortars, my costs are a lot less. So I can keep my prices very reasonable. A lot of people are like, well, how do you do that? I was like, well, I pay cash for my trailer, my freezer trailer, and I'm only butchering so much a month. So we've got to wait. So you have to be patient with us because we don't have, we're not doing 20, 30 cows at a time. Although I can't believe I'm doing 8, 10 cows a month. Like we are now. Like we started out doing 2.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
There's a lot of growth. Yeah. It's
a lot. And so with that being said, like if I showed you a picture of my trailer right now, I can't get in it. I got the land but when I get to where I'm going at night, I've got to.
It's like when you're a kid and your mom tells you to clean your room and you just shove everything in the closet and then you shut the door.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah. Right.
But luckily it's I can play Jenga with it because it's all boxes.
Refrigerator Jenga. Yeah.
Refrigerator Jenga. Yeah. Monday is all gone.
Tetris.
Monday we're shipping everything. But that's what we do. We're very happy with what we do. Again, we know it's not for everybody, but for people who are, and this is the other thing why and I don't know if you're aware of this, but if you're not buying from a factory processor, I'd say at least 40% of the animals that you take to the butcher is going to get messed up. So I built in an extra 20 days so that if an animal is messed up, I can find a home for it. And I don't have to call someone who scraped their money together and, spent $2,600 on something. I don't have to call them and say, well, all your steaks are half an inch thick. I found a home for those. And it's when I say every pot, there's a mess up on every one. And it's not intentional. It's just, if you got all these different instructions, you're asking these guys to keep swapping. And a lot of them are new. They're just coming in because the people got overwhelmed. So they're going to make mistakes. So it takes a little longer to get our product because we built in for those mistakes.
Well, and
I try my best to explain that to the customers.
People, right? Like
it's people.
It's not a machine.
And they're all different.
It's not laser cut,
Right. And even with what I think most customers don't understand is that just like you and I, the consistency of our muscle is different. So every cow that you put the slicer at an inch may not have as dense a muscle as the one before.
Right.
So you need to lower it up, but it's an eyeball. So that's why I say we're artisan. It's a handcrafted boutique operation.
Right.
Because they have to look at every one like, okay, that's an inch. Let's keep cutting.
This is how
they'll call me and say, Wayne, it didn't freeze at an inch, buddy. And I'll have to make those phone calls because somebody pays you $2,600 to $5,000 and they're not in this space, they're not rural, they're used to hitting a button and getting exactly what they want. You have to get that right, or build in a way to fix it.
Yeah, like automations. Like we're just used to things being a certain way sometimes. And this is how I explain to young cooks, like who've maybe never used a meat slicer before. If we're trying to slice something that's really hard, like sopressata, for instance, or salami, right? If you're pushing it into the blade, the slice is going to be crooked and it's going to be thicker, right? Like if this is how I've explained too to people, it's a very similar analogy. Like when I'm slicing an onion and you're slicing an onion, if I'm using a Santoku knife and you're using a 12-inch chef knife, that force and the torque and everything is going to be different. It's kind of like, stay with me here. It's kind of like women's clothing sizing. Okay. Yeah. They lay those layers of denim on top of each other and they use a stamp press to cut them out. That's why Calvin Klein's 8 and Levi's 10 might be the same size. That denim stretches and pulls and folds. And yeah. So yeah.
Just and that's like why we say boutique handcrafted. Of course.
Yeah. Handcrafted has such a nice ring though.
It is. And so I do a lot of videos showing the process and just, it is what it is. And once I got there, because I was like, man, I can't keep you can't keep fussing with people that you need.
Yeah.
So there's a little thing like I'm big on presentation. People eat with their eyes. But I can tell when they bought a new kid in who's on summer break and he's doing the cryovac machine, he doesn't know to hold it for the extra 4 or 5 seconds.
Right.
So that there's no air pockets.
Yeah, if you get air pocket in there, it's going to oxidize.
I get a whole cow back. And so just yesterday, I sold a bunch of ground beef. I was like, it doesn't meet my standard. $7 a pound. Who wants it? It's 40 pounds. But I went through 1,000 pounds, and then I called the shop and was like, "Hey, is the air pressure up on the gun, or what's going on?" They were like, "Oh, new guy."
Yeah.
You're the second call we got today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, we were all the new guy once.
Yeah, we were all the new guy. And we'll be again.
Yeah. All right. So, where can we find you online, and how do we get the beef?
Sure. Swanson Family Farm on all platforms.
Okay.
And if you go online and make an order, we'd love for you to get a deposit in, and then we'll put you on the list. And as your animal is going in for processing, we'll call you and let you know that it's up, and then we'll give you an approximate. There is no, it's Tuesday at 2:00 in this business.
Right.
They will call me when it's done, and I'll call you.
Right. It sounds so exciting. I have to find somebody to buddy with so I can buy some. I don't eat much beef. It's not a moral position. It's just like, it's expensive. I eat a lot of beans and a lot of tofu. I like beef. I save it for special occasions. Center of the plate items. I want a ribeye. I buy a really nice ribeye. And then now I know a guy, So, and then lastly, I have to get your hot take. What is your take on organic produce versus conventional? Do you have an opinion?
I got one.
I got one people don't like. But
people don't like mine either. People don't like mine either. I'm not paying for that certificate.
Yeah.
I'm not paying for it. Either you have good growing practices or not. The certificate, for me, isn't going to matter. I can look at your farm and tell whether or not you are using a bunch of chemicals or not. There are signs. One of them is weeds.
Yeah. I want everybody who listens to this podcast, which is quite a few people, to hear it right out the mouth of a farmer, because I tell people all the time, you're being fear-mongered into paying more money in a time where people can't afford more money. For groceries.
Now, there's a market. There's some people who want that.
Of course.
And if you're getting into commodity stuff, you're probably well served to get that, because Microsoft's food pantry place, they want organic, and it makes sense for you to fill that market. But for me, you can look at our product, you can look at what we develop, and you can see that we have sound farming practices. They're going to be weed, and we manage the weeds because they're food. They're here for a reason.
I just like to tell people, I'm like, hey, honestly, they're using organic pesticide, and the organic pesticide costs more, and they have to pass the cost on to you. Like, really, that's what you're paying for? So me, the average consumer who's going to go buy like strawberries, apples, and bananas, and maybe some kale this week at the store, like, I'm not paying. I'm not paying.
Yeah.
I'll
So
wash it just like I do everything else. You know?
Now, one thing I do, like I'll support if I know the farm has sound regenerative farming practices and they're organic, I'm buying that product.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to be supportive. I want to.
I'd love to support a sustainable business because that's really important to me.
Yes.
I just don't like being like fear mongered into buying you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Same here.
I'm like,
and
I'm
I
not
don't
paying
like
$7 a pound for strawberries because you said that I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you can grow strawberries can be perennial. I got some under my blueberry bushes that come back every year. My dog gets to them before I do.
It's probably really good for your dog.
I was going to say that the funny thing about some of the organic folks is they want to buy organic, and then they'll complain like, "Hey, there was a bug in my." I was like, "But that's the whole point. If you don't find a bug in your veg, it's not organic."
Hello,
that's the telltale. That gives it away.
Just because they didn't put 7 dust on it doesn't mean that they're they treated it somehow, but it's still going to be there. Like it did still come from the dirt, which I think is a lot of people are.
You want to like when I'm doing greens, I want to see a little caterpillar or something in my water when I clean my greens. That lets me know that it's clean. If the bugs don't want to eat it, why should you?
Exactly. Maybe not like a crap ton of aphids, but one little grub. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, they got to go through the 3-compartment sink process anyway. But this will be, I'm okay with a hanger on.
Yeah, why not? He was fighting till the last minute. It's a free gift.
Yeah. Throw it to the
throw it back out in the backyard and replenish the soil.
Yes, that's what I'm sorry.
Hey, Wayne, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Stick around right after we stop recording and I'll holler at you about a couple more things. For Wayne, I'm Melissa. Thank you for listening to the Food for Thought cast. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
That's a wrap for today. Until the next episode of the Food for Thought cast, make good food, eat good food, share it, and be kind to one another.
Thanks so much for listening today. You are part of what makes us special, and we are so glad you joined us. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave a review. Just like food, delicious podcasts are better when you share them with others. Come back for seconds wherever podcasts are served, and we'll catch you in the next episode of the Food for Thought cast.
You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at the Food for Thoughtcast or at www.foodforthoughtcast.com, where you can link to all podcast players, or you can send us an email at foodforthoughtcmc@gmail.com.